Hi, welcome. My name is Angelina, and welcome to my last review, my last monthly review for the year of 2021. And I'm kind of excited. I mean, time isn't real, but I do plan to bring back my weekly news show in 2022, or at least some type of weekly discussion because I kind of missed that. I just admittedly got a little bit overwhelmed, a little bit too stressed about it. Like, what if I spread misinformation? Like, that would be the worst thing in the entire universe. I also hope to do more reviews. I'm just hoping to release more things that you guys are interested in, so I hope you're excited too. But for today, we're going to be reviewing all of the comebacks and debuts for the month of December in 2021. As we enter 2022, 2 is my lucky number, just a little by the way. And will 22 make their debut? I'm not sure, but maybe I'll make a shirt, some merch, and I'll be the only one wearing it, but it's fine. So for the past few reviews, I've really been adding more details. I've kind of gone to Soompi because Soompi really, they must get all of the press releases and they write about what kind of song it is, you know, the inspiration behind the song sometimes. So I have looked at Soompi quite a bit to, you know, get more information to give you guys a little bit of a better idea of what the song is. And of course, I look into the song myself. I look into the lyrics and the meaning of the music video, should there be any, though we are in 4th gen. Please understand. It's a little rare, but I digress. Before we get into the actual review, we're going to talk about the different tiers that we have. And I'm thinking about changing them in 2022. So if you have any suggestions, please leave them down in the comments below. And if you've been through this before, then please feel free to skip through this video to, you know, whatever you'd like to see. Because frankly, I'm just cutting it out from the last video and pasting it into this video. Don't tell anyone. But before that, don't forget to like, comment, and share this video with friends you don't have. Okay, so the tier ranking. Of course, at the top we have Big Booty Bop, and we have Cup of Milk, which are songs that I added to my playlist, but maybe they have a shorter shelf life. I'm trying to remember my own tiers. Which is then followed by Second Gen Vibes. These are songs that if they randomly started playing, I wouldn't skip them. They're songs we casually like. From there, we have our neutral tier, but for the sake of this month, is also the tier where I added stuff to my playlist, and then the next day I kind of decided I don't really like it anymore. I'm not a super fan of it anymore. This is kind of the opposite of a grower, so rather than growing to like it, I've grown to dislike them. I have stuck in my head like, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Do you ever feel like your brain cells are just dying? You can feel them dying very, very slowly. I digress. So right below that tier, we fittingly have Grow and Not a Shower, which are songs that I might have really disliked at first, but ended up loving them either through peer pressure or just sheer repetition. Then we have everyone's favorite tier, YG's Dungeon. These are songs where I would tangibly change something about them. And then of course, Not My Cup of Tea, which are songs that I just wouldn't listen to. Starting off with a few songs that I missed last month, we have Kai and Peaches. Now, according to Soompi, this is a medium tempo R&B song that compares the romantic moments you spend with your lover to a sweet peach and expresses the feelings of wanting to stay with that person in a place like paradise. And I think that is exquisitely showcased through both the lyrics and the music video. Most notably, the cinematography of the music video, I really thought it was top notch. Not that there was inherently a storyline, don't get it twisted, but just aesthetically, visually, it was very pleasing. So the song, of course, makes comparisons of said lover that we mentioned before to peaches. For example, having a soft embrace or having sweetness spread throughout your mouth. You know, that last part, granted, sounds a little bit like a disease, but I'm definitely picking up the vibes that they were putting down. As for the music video, what can I say? It was very soft and dreamy. Even if we cut out all of the scenes that explicitly have peaches, I still think they did a really great job at evoking the nature of a peach through just, you know, the filters that they used or the color palettes that they used. So that was really interesting. And then on top of everything, we had some traditional Korean elements mixed throughout, which I thought was amazing as well. Dare I say this was a stunning glorified dance practice. As for how I would rate the song, is this something that I would necessarily listen to every day? I'm not too sure. It sounds sweet, it sounds nice. I'm sure it's a lot of people's cup of tea. So for me, I would actually put it in It Exists. Also, for whatever reason, I wanted to point this out. Whenever I listen to Peaches, I kind of think of I.Am's Goddamn. I don't think necessarily that they sound the same, but maybe they have a similar vibe. God damn it, I like it.
pretty good, can't be shaken.
And maybe someone should make a remix, Cough Cough Mando. Now let's talk about Cignature's Boyfriend. This actually came out after I was done actually after I uploaded my video.
So I call you my boyfriend, yeah, I call you my boyfriend.
This is described as being a minimalistic hip-hop track, and I appreciate it. I appreciate the minimalism for sure. I personally would have preferred a little bit more magic because I feel the song's going a little bit in that direction, but otherwise I think it's still nice. It talks about liking someone who is endlessly harmful, and that person happens to be your boyfriend, a bad boyfriend, but you still call them your boyfriend. And actually, while I was looking into the song, I looked into the lyrics, of course, and this felt like such a perfect response to TANG's Only Look at Me. They kind of go hand in hand because he admits to basically being a bad boyfriend, to looking at other girls, going out to drink with other girls, to thinking about other girls, not being totally present. But despite all of that, to only look at him, to only be with him. Whereas Cignature talks about similar issues, but from the opposite side of things. Calling him, but his line is busy. Wanting to end things, but being convinced otherwise. It feels like they just perfectly go hand in hand, in my opinion. They're kind of like responses to each other, shall we say. Nevertheless, I did really still appreciate this song, and I would personally put it into second gen vibes. Maybe even Cup of Milk. I think this has actually made it onto my playlist. Okay, I know this really angered a lot of people, so let's finally review Chungha's Killing Me. You guys literally wouldn't let me live this down. I'm sorry. I don't know how to break this to you, but I do film this in my room. This is not a professional production. This song is described as an up-tempo pop number piece and rhythmical vocal that describes a painful heartbreak. The chorus highlights Chungha's vocal colors and her writing abilities, and she describes the repetition of everyday life and exhaustion. Like the bright light at the end of the tunnel, Chungha refocuses her message of hope in her lyrics for people. And I want to talk about both the lyrics and the music video because, of course, they go hand in hand very well. And again, it's not, here's the thing with 4th gen music videos I'm finding. When I say 4th gen music videos don't have a storyline, it's not usually negative. Sometimes it's fun to have a proper storyline, but I find more so in 4th gen, you'll see a lot of symbolism. I think there's a difference. So in Chungha's Killing Me, there's not necessarily a storyline. You know, you're not going to follow this story from beginning to end, but there's a lot of symbolism. And right off the bat, the focal point that we see in this music video is the Matryoshka doll. Basically, those dolls, you open it and then there's another one inside and it keeps getting smaller and smaller. And I thought that was really interesting because you see, as soon as she opens that first doll, she falls apart. The perfect life that she showed us in the first ever clip starts to unravel. I also have that same vanity and stool. It's from IKEA. It's like right there. Should I show you? I'll take a little clip of it. We also see this imagery of walls closing in on her, and that's contrasted by her having fun with her friends as well. And the song basically talks about how every day is like being stuck in a dark tunnel, and it is killing her. And actually, from what I've read, the synth sounds that we hear in the chorus are meant to portray this long tunnel. So that's pretty interesting. Not that I totally know what it means. We'll take a look at the chorus right now, actually, and see if we can feel the tunnel. Maybe it's because it kind of sounds like losing connection when you go into a tunnel. You know, you're on the phone and you're driving through a tunnel and you kind of lose connection. Is that what they mean by that? Because if so, then that's really, really clever. But back to the music video. So I feel like the music video really is perfect for the lyrics of this song because the song sounds really happy, right? She's saying, it's killing me, killing me, killing me. And it does sound really happy until you look into the lyrics and you're like, oh, this is actually pretty dark. And the music video really shows that. You know, she looks really happy in a lot of these clips, but then you kind of see the behind the scenes, shall we say, or how she really feels compared to what she is showing people. It's like we can listen to this song that sounds so beautiful, that sounds so upbeat, but she's actually dying inside. And I did want to point out these lyrics in particular and kind of have a little bit of a discussion about it because it says, miss the future so bad, I wish that we could go back. Now, obviously, it's a little nonsensical, right? It's kind of impossible to miss the future, right? Because it hasn't happened yet. Could interpret that line in one of two ways. Well, many ways, but here are my two options. So kind of along the lines of, I miss having a future with you. I miss being able to look forward to that future with you. I wish we could go back to when things were good between us and we actually had a future together. Or it could just mean I miss having anything to look forward to. So if it's in more general depression sense, because the future itself is so bleak. So it could be more specific or just general depression. So let me know what you think. What do you interpret? And lastly, we end off the music video with a chair that says "nothing is for me" that is written on it. And I really like those words for some reason. And I did want to very briefly discuss this. Do you think it's a more from a depression standpoint, like nothing is for me, and it's a very bleak statement? Or do you think it's a more freeing statement, like nothing is for me, so it doesn't matter? Let me know what you think. As for how I feel about the song, let's give it a cup of tea. I actually, I love her voice. I love the melody. It's honestly a really catchy and beautiful song. And my carrot friend held me down and forced me to listen to 17's Heaven's Cloud, which also ended up on my playlist. But we listened to Killing Me together and she said it sounded like Heaven's Cloud. And I have to say I agree, so let's play those two snippets side by side so you can see what I'm talking about.
A little too soon. It's killing me, can I get tunnel?
So the killing me, and give me your in both songs are very similar, and I thought that was interesting. But yes, into Cup of Milk, this song goes. Well, shiver me timbers, bitches. Let's review Everglow's Pirate again.
'Cause I'm a pirate, yeah, a pirate, yeah.
So according to Soompi, Pirate is a festive, hard-hitting song that changes dynamically throughout its progression. And I would agree it's a little bit of a roller coaster. We start off really strong, really fast, and slow down, go faster, da-da-da-da. I think we could kind of compare it to Next Level, but I do agree it's a little bit more dynamic than Next Level. I feel like Next Level was a little bit more minimalistic, and there is very little minimalism I would describe in this song. And with that, I did want to talk about this a little bit because I do think we're going to start seeing more songs like this, more songs that are very messy, that change drastically in their rhythms throughout their entirety. And I feel like it's safe to say we can blame Aespa. Next Level wasn't the invention of the roller coaster type song. It obviously existed beforehand, but I wonder if because of that success that we would now see this a lot more, if it would become a lot more popularized. So let me know what you think of that theory. I think we're going to hear a lot more songs like this. I mentioned this in my review as well, but I'm just going to repeat myself. You can go check out my review if you want, by the way. When I hear this song, I like the beginning instrumentals, I can't help but think of Gangnam Style by Psy. Is it legal to play snippets side by side? We're going to do it, but just if you don't hear anything, just know the copyright gods fucking hate me. I'm not going to pretend like I know what the rest of the song is about. I feel like we're talking about moon cycles and then suddenly I'm a pirate. But the thing is, some of those lyrics do seem very deep. They're just overshadowed by the whole I'm a pirate. And that's fair. I don't, there's something poetic about it. I don't know. I'm going to put this song into Cup of Milk because it was definitely in my playlist. I thought it was a lot of fun to listen to. Now, let's talk about a much anticipated debut with IVE and 11.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You make me feel like 11.
Obviously, this is a new group under Starship Entertainment, but what is interesting about this group is that there are 2 ex-IZ*ONE members. So we have Wonyoung and Yujin in here. So I would say it's kind of an interesting dynamic to call them a new girl group. They're a rookie girl group, yet 2 of the members, are seasoned veterans, shall we say. I'd be really interested in knowing more about their dynamic because of that. Before anyone takes me out of context, I'm not saying they shouldn't be called a rookie group or anything. Obviously, they're a new group. I just think it's interesting. It must be an interesting dynamic. Now, their debut track, 11, according to Soompi, is a pop dance song that amplifies the mysterious charms of the 6 members. The lyrics describe the way the heart of a girl in love becomes tinted with mystical colors. And though the song is mostly minimalistic, the constant varying rhythms make for a fun listen. So if we want to bring it back to Next Level for a second, just for a second, as I mentioned literally 5 seconds ago, I feel as though roller coaster type songs are really going to start being more more and more popular, especially in 2022. So it's interesting to see how different companies might interpret this trend. So with Starship obviously going a more minimalistic route, but we're still seeing these kind of shifting variations in rhythms, right? That are noticeable enough to make the song intriguing, make it interesting, right? So for this song in particular, we start with one rhythm and then we audibly hear it slowing down, almost as if you can even hear the ticking of the clock. Before we pick up that rhythm even faster than we had originally started with. Now again, I'd like to have an open discussion about the lyrics in the chorus. So I don't totally know what they mean, but I have a few ideas. So they count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You make me feel like 11. At first I thought it was like an age thing and I thought that's oddly specific. Like, are they trying to, evoke this sense of youth? I don't fucking know. But then before this part, they actually talk about filling in a space. So I wondered if on a scale of 1 to 10, their love interest makes them feel like an 11. You know what I mean? Like you go up above and beyond to make me feel special. Feel special. As for the song itself, I think it sounds interesting, but admittedly, the first time I listened to it, I did not love it. So for this one, I'm actually going to put it into grower, not a shower. And I feel like that's a very unpopular opinion because I feel like 11 is very highly regarded by everyone. But I admittedly just wasn't feeling it at first. It has cool aspects. I admit to that. It took me a little bit of time to warm up to it. That's all I'm saying. Now we have On and Off and their comeback with Goosebumps. Described by Soompi as an alternative funk-based dance track with a powerful bass riff. With a powerful bass riff. This music video definitely features some creepy and futuristic vibes, maybe a little bit better suited for October, but that's just, time isn't real. It's definitely interesting, I will give it that. However, it's not quite my cup of tea. So that's where I'm gonna put it, but as always, if this sounds like something that you would like, then don't forget to check it out. Now let's rank Ateez's 2 title tracks, The Real and Turbulence. I actually made a whole 23-minute video reviewing both of these songs, so you can go check that out. We're going to be a little bit brief with this. So Turbulence, I'm sure you guys know by now, I thought was a very beautiful song. It goes straight into big booty bop for me. No questions asked. I still listen to it to this day. It's been on my playlist ever since. It's just a really beautiful ballad, and I think it was really nice to have this as a title track. Honestly, I would have been happy with just Turbulence as a title track. To me, I feel like they released Turbulence as a way to kind of get hype for The Real, and that makes all the sense in the world, but I would have been perfectly happy even without The Real if this was just a standalone title track. I would have been beyond the moon excited. That's how much I love it. It's perfect on its own. My favorite aspects of the song are definitely some of the raw vocals. I feel like Chungha kind of brings forth a bit of a pop punk vibe to it. And actually, if you saw Hongjoong's busking, Ateez performed Fever, if you listen to Chungha in particular, he's giving me pop punk vibes, like just with his voice. And I really appreciate that. Baby, really be younger. So yes, Big Booty Bop, I think the song is very magical, but I digress. As for The Real, it's never really been my favorite song. I know some people might point out that I did have it on my playlist when the Kingdom version came out. To which I would then respond to you that I was just biased as hell. The Real, it's nice. It's a nice song. I'm not gonna knock it, right? I do much prefer this Hung version. It sounds a lot nicer. I love the additions that they added to it, like the instrumentals and so on. For example, they mixed hip-hop trap beats with traditional Korean elements, and I think that is fantastic. But given the fact that I already kind of streamed this song during its Kingdom era, it didn't really end up on my playlist again. We're gonna go ahead and put it into second gen vibes because yes, I appreciated it, but it didn't end up on my playlist this time around. A lot of people have compared it to BTS's Fire. That's not the first thought that came to my head, but I can hear it. I can hear it. So let's try putting both of those side by side so we can get a better idea. It was not my first thought. I didn't think of Fire, but I can I can see the similarity for sure. And let me know what you think in the comments below. We have to discuss Twice's Doughnut. So this is Twice's Japanese release. It was introduced to me by my friend Sabrina, who was totally not clowning it. She was totally not making fun of the fact that Twice were singing about having a hole in their heart like a donut. But let's start off with the music video. So we see the first scene is literally a crime scene of this glitter exploded donut. I hope Detective Mina is able to figure this shit out. I'm literally at the edge of my seat. But most notably, the lyrics that go, "My heart has a hole in the shape of you, just like a donut." It does continue on to explain the donut analogy of being like an endless loop of love. I get that. But out of context, this is pretty genius. This is giving me after school shampoo vibes, you know? Like you're threatening someone if they ever hurt you that you'll be like shampoo and burn their eyes. I kind of love these types of songs, like Shampoo by After School and Twice's Doughnut, where they just sound regular enough where you wouldn't really take a second look until you really look into the lyrics and you're like, this is just ridiculous enough to just like the perfect comedic pairing, right? A song that doesn't sound funny, that sounds serious as shit. I don't know how serious singing Doughnut out loud is, but granted, but you know, it's not a comedic song, right? But it is deep down. So needless to say, I definitely appreciate the existence of this song because I do find it comedic. And not only that, not only do they describe in the song having a hole in the shape of you in your heart and just like a donut being in like an endless loop, they actually showed us. They showed us the fake anatomy of someone having a hole in their heart, and we went through the heart in the music. It's perfect. I'm in awe, frankly. The only thing is the sound of the song is not quite my cup of tea. But the concept is 100 out of 100. So I'm personally going to place this in not my cup of tea. I don't want to hear any of it from any onces because I was part of Twice's top 2% Spotify listeners. So if you can't top that, then I really don't think your opinion is that relevant.
JK, I saw the light. This goes into grower, not a shower.
Now we have Bibi with Weekend.
You only call me on the weekend.
So according to 88 Rising, following the success of Bibi's debut US performance at the Hallmark 88 Rising Head in the Clouds Festival, the singer-songwriter returns with a thrilling visual storyline produced by 88 Rising and Core A Creative, starring Bibi in a forbidden romance with a sinister turn of events. So this is a pop R&B track that talks about being more into someone than they are into you. How they have you jumping off the deep end, but they really only think about you when it's convenient for them. Either way, I love her voice. It's just like a very relaxed way of like singing the lines, and I really appreciate that. So for me, I'm gonna put it into second gen vibes. I could definitely picture this going onto my playlist. Shout out to Valerie though, who loves Bibi, by the way. Moving on to Kiara and Pick Me Up.
Let's get on with me.
This comes from her third single album with the same name. And I would say this has slight early 2000s vibes, most notably with the way she says go away. I don't know, there's something about that.
Go away. 네 말들이 숨 막히게 해.
I don't really know why it feels familiar, but if you know, then let me know in the comments down below. But maybe it's just like the overall retro style. Either way, I do think the song is really nice, and I would personally put it into second gen vibes. If it randomly started playing, I don't think I would skip it. Now we have another debut with Xdinary Heroes and Happy Death Day. So this is, of course, JYP's new band. And when I first heard of them, I didn't really know they were a band, but I just kind of figured with, you know, the title of their song and the thumbnail that it would have some rock alternative elements to it. But it ended up being like a lot more alternative than I was anticipating. So for me, this isn't necessarily something I would listen to. It's just a stylistic choice, really. I'm more into rock or pop rock when it comes to maybe more nostalgic things. So for me, I would put it into not my cup of tea, but it definitely has its charms. So if you like this type of song, definitely go check it out. For me, like the tra-la-la-la-la-la was not the most pleasant to my ears. It basically talks about how birthdays are the worst days, right? Like happy birthday, happy death day, which is also the title of a movie where the premise is the main character, every time she dies, she goes back in the past and she relives the same day, only to continue dying and reliving that same day over and over again. So I think they're kind of trying to express this within the song as well, that they've made so many meaningless wishes on their birthdays. It's just a constant repetition of the worst day ever. So I thought that connection was really interesting. Moving on to Mino's TANG. Now, I know better than to judge Mino prematurely, because when I first listened to Runaway, I was like, what is this ga 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 shit? So I came into TANG with an open mind. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna let the art speak for itself and just feel it, you know? But I'll admit, like, my first instinct when I heard TANG was like, what the fuck? But interestingly enough, I feel like they're quite similar in the sense that they use random sounds in the chorus in a way that seems so unconventional. You know, you don't think that ga 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 sounds nice to your ears, right? It doesn't flow very nicely. But you know what it is? It's raw and it's authentic. The tang 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 part it's interesting, right? It does not flow. And I think, you know, that's the intention, to have it not flow. It even feels a little bit offbeat, and it just is genius. The song basically talks about extravagance, about expressing your heart through money because you're too dumb to understand a woman's heart. And my friend Sherry, my toxic blank friend Sherry, actually linked this song to Somi's What You Waiting For. Because in Somi's What You Waiting For, she says, you really don't know a girl's heart. Was it Dum Dum or What You Waiting For? Either way, we do see in the music video he's playing an AR game, so he's doing absolutely everything in his power within that game to get this woman, except getting to know her. Gifts, expensive meals, anything but time. Actually, another song we could link this to is Hey Big Spender. I don't know who sings that. I remember watching The Search for the Next Doll, or Girlicious. Anyone remember Girlicious? Hey Big Spender, spend a little time with me. But yeah, so for me, this goes into Cup of Milk with no idea if it would end up like Runaway to me, like really touching my heart and being like Song of the Year. Let us now talk about Monsta X and You Problem.
But that's a you problem. You know it's out my hand.
So this comes from their English album titled The Dreaming and features a very prominent disco 70s theme. And if I had to interpret the meaning of the song, I would say it's about mindfulness. That's basically what they talk about. You know, you don't need a plan. It's simple. Just dance. So I already mentioned this is like a 70s disco inspired song, right? Like it's very obvious. We see this in the music video. However, I also feel like there's some early 2000s inspiration, because I could definitely picture this in like a movie from 2004. I could picture this in like the Cat in the Hat live action remake.
But that's a you problem. You know it's out my hand.
I do like some of the lyrics. You know, it basically talks about like, that's a you problem. It's not, you know, I can't carry this burden for you. I feel like that's something you'd hear in therapy, but you get to hear it for free. But I'm personally not a fan of the 70s theme, so I'm gonna put it in... It exists. Moving on to NCT and their releases with Universe and Beautiful. Sorry, Universe, parentheses, Let's Play Ball.
Let's play ball. Yeah. Let's play ball. Yo, you're my universe.
Which according to Soompi is an R&B dance track with a hip-hop bass and catchy hook that is actually a pre-release for their upcoming album titled Universe as well. And I have some things to say. I go into these things with an open mind. I'm not just going to like, oh, it's an NCT song. The likeliness that I will hate it is very high because I'm an SM anti. But realistically, I look at everything with an open heart. Guys, come on. So the concept itself seemed random as hell because it's like, you're my universe, right? Super lovey-dovey. And then let's play ball. I love it. You know, what does one have to do with the other? I'm sure fourth gen stans can make that connection and tell it's me. I'll believe you. I will believe you. But I maintain it's random as hell. Let's play ball, like baseball. Let's play baseball. You're my universe. I have zero idea of any baseball lingo, any like sayings that could be linked to someone being your universe. but go for it. You know, there are parts of the song that sound super cool. I do like Mark's raps. He does sound very interesting. And though I did judge Let's Play Ball You're My Universe prematurely, it is actually my favorite part of the song. Because again, it's really random. And as soon as I heard it, it got immediately stuck in my head. That being said, unfortunately, and this makes me so sad because I love the concept of Let's Play Ball You're My Universe, again, very catchy. The rest of the song just really wasn't my cup of tea. It has like those typical SM tropes that I'm just not really into. But either way, I'm gonna put this into YG's Dungeon. Because I think with this, we could have really had a Hot Sauce 2.0. Like a very fun, quirky song that's very easily digestible, but it ended up being like trying to be quirky, but then still typical SM sounds, if that makes sense. Anyways. YG's Dungeon. Now on to Beautiful, which is a ballad that features 21 members of NCT. And again, according to Soompi, this song expresses positive energy with a warm message to those having a hard time, that they are special in their own ways. So I did judge this one too, mostly because Johnny was like, be yourself, be beautiful. And I was like, you know, like, what if I don't want to be? That sounds like a lot of pressure. But I find this song too also has like a lot of potential. Like, it sounds cute. The one thing is, I feel like because there's 21 people in this song, the chorus gives me like Produce 101 vibes or like a collab stage vibes where it's just there's like too many chefs in one kitchen. So it felt a little bit busy for an otherwise very soft song, if that makes sense. You know, I would have had everyone kind of sing that chorus, but in intervals, you know, maybe 5 people for the first one, then 5 for the next, or do you know what I mean? So again, this is another song that I think I would put into YG's Dungeon. I just would have done the chorus a little bit differently. Now we have Minzy, who made her comeback with Fantabulous. So this is a Latin pop track with an addicting beat and lyrics, and it seems Minzy personally wrote the lyrics and did the choreography as well. As for the song itself, unfortunately, it wasn't love at first sight. You know, I'm a sucker for Latin I'm a sucker for Latin pop, so to me, it is up my alley. I do love the chorus. I think it's very catchy. However, the rest of the song just wasn't necessarily my cup of tea, so unfortunately, I'm going to put it into YG's Dungeon as well. Alternatively, I did also think about putting this into Grower Not a Shower because I do think it has the potential to grow on me, but I'm a little bit conflicted about this, so let me know what you thought of the song in the comments below. Next up, we have Rocking Doll, who debuted with the song of the same title, Rocking Doll. This is a new 4-member girl group under SRP Entertainment, and from what I understand, this song talks about how they're going to impress us. I had actually randomly clicked on the teaser for this, and I was pretty excited. It looked up my alley. You know, I do really enjoy Girl Crush. I love 4-member girl groups. However, after hearing the whole thing, you know, it does sound like they're from a small company. And not that that's their fault, but just obviously the song doesn't sound super refined. So I don't think this is something I would listen to, but I will also put this into YG's Dungeon because I do think they have some potential. Now let's review another SM remake with Dreams Come True by Aespa. So this is a remake of SCS's Dreams Come True from 1998. However, I've been told that that song was a remake of Nylon Beats' Like a Fool. So let's listen to it right now, actually. Very interesting. So this is part of SM's remastered series, it seems, because they have remastered a lot of their music videos and re-uploaded them. One of them being SES's Dreams Come True, and now they're making a remake, which has been produced by Boa, who is also apparently part of making the choreography and the visual concept of it all. And I quote, adding Aespa's young energy and hip vibe to the original song. So in anticipation for this remake, I actually went and listened to SES's Dreams Come True. I've probably heard this song in passing, but I've never really sat down and listened to it. And I actually really appreciated it. I loved the 90s vibes. I loved the instrumentals, and you know, 1998, could we really say that's Y2K? I feel like Y2K was very much based in futurism, and we could see that a lot in the music video. We'll just go with that. Now, the last time Aespa remade a song, I was like, I'm not excited about this. That sounds really boring. But then I ended up really liking Forever. So I had really high hopes for Dreams Come True, especially since I really loved the original. My only fear before hearing the song was that they would try to modernize it too much, right? The charm that Dreams Come True has is the retro nature of it, is that 90s vibe. So I was scared they would really try to modernize it to a point where it was unrecognizable, but they kept all the beautiful elements that I loved from the original. So this instrumental in particular, they ended up keeping that, and I was in love with it. And then in the original, there's like this high-pitched rapping, and I was like, I'll be damned if they take that out, but they kept it in, and I was really happy about that as well. So I think they did an amazing job. They really added Aespa's hip, youthful nature to the song while keeping the original charms that made that song really cool. And we got a really cool kind of comeback. So for me, this actually goes into Big Booty Bop. I'm so excited about this song. I'm constantly listening to it. It's so charming. Moving on to Apoki and Shut Up, Kiss Me. This just kept on popping up in my recommended, and I was like, sure, let's listen to it. And I would describe this as having like a smooth sound. Like there's no doubt the vocals are so soft and very beautiful and smooth, with some slight hyperpop elements. Though I wouldn't say this is anywhere near a hyperpop song, but that's my attempt at describing a song. But nevertheless, I did think it was a really nice sounding song. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it into second gen vibes. So before we get to my playlist, I do have a few honorable mentions. These are songs that really might have come out a bit too long ago, or maybe didn't have an official music video. I've decided the song has to have come out within the past 2 months and has to have an official music video, not a performance music video, an official music video. And that's my criteria. So we have SB19's Bazinga, which was uploaded on October 29th. So they're actually a Filipino boy group who went through the same training as K-pop idols. And I would say the song is really interesting. And then of course we have Pixie's Call Me, which was uploaded December 14th, but also only had a performance music video. Welcome to the last part of this video, which is my playlist. Thank God it's December, and in January I'm gonna be back with Spotify. I miss it so much. Apple Music can suck. I've just been like a fish out of water. I don't even know how we're doing any of this. So first up, we have El Pony by Daddy Yankee. I was just looking through my Spotify top songs, like top 100 songs or whatever, and this was in there. I was like, oh, I remember that song. Then, of course, we have Beep Beep by Girls' Generation. You know, that's the one sad thing about going over to Spotify is that they don't have this song. And it breaks my heart. Unnatural by WJSN. This has appeared on my playlist before. Money by Lisa. So Heaven's Cloud actually managed to get onto my playlist. This is because my friend did show it to me when she said it sounded like Chungha's Killing Me. And it ended up getting stuck in my head. And I like this song. Turbulence. I saw this tattoo concept. I'm gonna try to find it. It was like a random tattoo, and at the top, like a tattoo concept, it wasn't tattooed on anybody yet, but it said, even though the gods are crazy, even though the stars are blind. The lyrics, I was like, oh my God, Paris Hilton. Does anyone remember Paris Hilton having a music career? So I remembered Stars Are Blind and Nothing in This World. So I actually downloaded both songs. I don't know what it was. Not that I loved these songs when they came out, but I feel like they were a little bit nostalgic and I just kept listening to them. So yeah, I think I'm going to make a new Spotify account, and then I'm going to make like a 2022 playlist of all the songs I'm listening to instead of a monthly playlist, and then we can just update that. Let me know what you think. Anyways, this video is long enough. I've been filming for 1 hour and 30 minutes. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video with friends you don't have. You can also join my channel members by clicking the join button next to the subscribe button. These are the lovely individuals who help support my channel on a monthly basis. It honestly means the world to me. Thank you so much for your support. As for me, I'm going to get going, but let me know what you would like to see from me in 2022. Bye!